Hello, all. Welcome to the Detroit Cast with Mike. That's me. That's Jay over there. What the hell is going on with that music? Shalom, Biggie.
I don't know. I mean, it's the same.
Hello, Jay.
I don't know, man. It's the same thing.
Did you hear that? I saw.
There was a hiccup.
I saw what appeared to be a not a state of shock look on your face, but definitely a recognition that that was a glitch.
Recognition of a hitch in the giddy up.
Yes.
Pressing the same button I've pressed since
Well,
I've been in the studio.
Press it a different way.
Okay.
Because we don't like hiccups in our giddy up.
Hitches.
Hitches in our giddy up, E. You know that. You know how much we hate hitches in our giddy up.
Sorry. I'll try to
Christ.
get it from somewhere else.
On
I
a
guess.
day like today, of all days, recognition of 9/11.
Oh.
What's so funny? E? What's so funny?
I don't know.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
bad.
You find
Can't
that funny?
laugh on
You
9/11?
find 9/11 funny?
I think that you can probably make jokes about 9/11 at this point. Yes.
I don't think
know that you can.
I think that you can, but
Do you have anything in mind? I mean,
no, I don't. But I'm saying I definitely think it's a point where you probably can. Look at, dude, you're
Well-
talking about a guy who cries when I watch things about it. I care very much about 9/11. I just think
know.
it has reached the point
Yeah.
where probably, yes, jokes can be made. I'm
well,
sorry.
we'll get to 9/11 here in just a moment. Feel like there should be a palate cleanser before we get there. Did want to mention too, I believe an all new Grind Time with Darren McCarty tonight, featuring the one, the only Chris Osgood in studio.
That's what I heard.
How cool is that?
Very cool.
So E will have to straighten the place up a little bit before Mr. Osgood gets here.
You think I should show him my image I have that I took with him when I was like 10?
Do you have it with you?
Yeah.
I'm sure he
I
remembers
brought
it.
You did?
Yeah, just
Can I see it?
It's, it's in my car, I guess.
Okay.
You want me to go run and get it? Or
Hey, Chris,
you
I'm
want me to
sure
wait?
you remember that day.
Remember this
Right.
day? He's going to go, oh,
Yeah,
shit, I was
oh, yeah.
wondering
Fuck
what you
Eric,
were up
how
to.
are you?
Fuck yes, he did.
Are you going to have him sign it or something?
I don't even know why I brought it. I don't even think I want to show it to him, but I had it, so I thought it was kind of interesting.
Is it just like a Polaroid or something?
It's
or
a regular photo.
Like
you know.
8 by 10 or
yeah,
just a-
or 8 by 10? No, like whatever
3
we
by
took.
5,
yeah,
5 by
yeah,
7,
Yeah,
yeah.
whatever those were.
Yeah.
Back in the day when they went to Joe for one of those Red Wings fests or something.
Yeah. Today is a very, very sad day, obviously, and I'll explain. I recently placed an order from Freshly.com to get food dropped off at my door. I'm trying to see if I can not ever leave the house again is the plan. And so I've been anticipating this delivery. And it's 6 meals come, and you put them in the fridge, and you've got these delicious meals. And my arrival showed up yesterday, and it was like, and I opened the box, and 6 delicious meals for Jeffrey.
Oh, no. What did Jeffrey order?
What? I'm not Jeffrey. I don't live in Cleveland, Ohio.
Oh, no.
And it turns out,
And of course, Jeffrey didn't get the big burger, right? No Angus burger for Jeffrey?
so my order contained. It turns out, just to save the suspense, I got a gay man's food basket.
Jeffrey.
Jeffrey's. I got Jeffrey's meals instead of my own meals. My meals consisted of spaghetti and meatballs. My meals also consisted of barbecue-style chicken with
Extra chicken grease.
with rice. So it's got the little lines like it's done on a grill. Yeah. And then I had another piece of chicken that's buffalo sauce bathed in with mashed potatoes. So I got
Okay.
two of those, maybe some shredded beefish, something or other.
It's interesting that you got 2 of things without ever having tasted them. You'd think
Yeah.
your first order, you'd want
Well-
6 different things, which you got through Jeffrey, right?
Jeffrey is not afraid to sample a lot of things. He really is into a lot of things. And so,
He's an adventurous eater.
yes, I did it because I figured T-Roy's here too, so I didn't want to fight over a taco bowl. And so I was like, here, T, you got a taco bowl and I got a taco bowl.
okay.
I got a barbecue chicken and you got a barbecue chicken. And we'll try 3 at a time. So that was the thought process.
Okay.
Because he goes grocery shopping quite often and we don't ever go like, yo, man, you owe me $50 for, So it's like, whatever's in the house, we just split up however. So that was my thought process. So 6 delicious meals for Jeffrey. Mexican-style shredded beef with masa cakes.
Sounds good.
Okay. That doesn't sound half bad. I don't know what masa cakes are.
I don't really either, but it sounds good to me.
Me neither, but cakes sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Super pesto and sausage fusilli.
Ooh, wow.
sounds good.
That does too, yeah.
Does?
Yeah.
Okay. Chicken tikka masala with vegetable biryani.
He is
Well, yeah.
adventurous,
Yeah,
isn't he?
I like it, man. I'm liking all 3
He's
of them
just
so far.
traveling the globe.
I know.
Sausage baked penny with sauteed zucchini and spinach.
Fuck yes.
It sounds a
You want
little.
to give me the box? I'll take it home.
All right, I'll charge you what I paid for it.
I don't know about that, but
Turkey and sweet jalapeno relish with sorghum pilaf.
So is this the one that comes where it has all the ingredients and you just have with like explicit, and I mean explicit directions on how to
that
mix
might be
everything?
Blue Bonnet
Okay.
or something.
This
This
is
is
all
I think
put
that is
together?
Blue Bonnet.
Yeah, I think you just throw this in the microwave for a couple minutes and you have a delicious home-cooked meal.
sure.
I mean, it is, can't tell the difference. Smoky pork cubano bowl.
Sure.
That is 6 items I would never.
Nothing sounds offensive to me.
I fucking love it all. To be, I'm not just saying.
Doesn't
that.
sound
I
a
think
little hint of gayish to you guys?
I don't know how. I don't know, dude. It sounds honestly all really good to me.
You want to try one of them?
Sure.
Which one do you want to try? E?
What? Let me.
Mexican style shredded
No.
beef. You can't have that one because
That's all right. I don't want that one.
Super pesto and sausage fusilli.
Maybe that. Honestly,
Chicken tikka masala with vegetable biryani.
I like chicken.
Yeah, I like
You like
chicken too.
biryani as well,
I,
don't you?
I, I,
What's
I've heard
biryani?
I don't
him
know what
talk
it
about
is. I don't know what it is. But
You heard him talk about it.
right.
Turkey and sweet jalapeno relish with
You
sorghum
know what?
pilaf.
I don't like spicy as much, and I know jalapenos aren't necessarily. I don't know how spicy they are, so I nixed that one, I guess.
Okay. What am I supposed to do, by the way? Am I supposed to return this food? They're not going to want this back, are they?
Well, you probably can work your way out of getting I
mean, I want
free
what I
meals out of
ordered.
it.
Yeah,
I
you
know.
go
Yeah.
ahead and eat it, and then you complain and you get your free meals.
I'm not going to eat it yet. But, I'll say, look, I don't know what Jeffrey, because if Jeffrey got my food, he is pissed
Yeah, he is.
off
Oh, yeah,
right now.
it's generic.
Spaghetti and meatballs.
I mean, I have his address. We could
what
call,
kind of cretin am I dealing with?
We could call Jeffrey and find out, because if it was just simply, because my name's on the top of the box, but inside the box where the goodies are
yeah,
comes this.
the Packer fucked it up.
Yeah. So I've got his address and shit. We could call him in a couple days maybe and just go, hey, man, did you get your...
What'd you think?
Hi, we're calling from Freshly.com. I want to know if you're satisfied with your foods.
I have considered doing one of these, even though I live at home, but
Yeah.
and my mom makes food, but it's not. She makes fine food. She's actually a fine cook, but she makes.
Yeah.
It's not the.
You've
a
bitched
real
a
no,
lot
it's,
about
it's
her
not the
cooking,
healthiest per se. Like it's a lot of the same old.
per se.
Ding.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll try to stop. But it's not the healthiest, necessarily. Like it's like a lot of red meat, a lot of carbs, a lot of noodles. I mean, it's good, but I have thought about doing one of these companies that.
Isis and I were just speaking about this yesterday. If he wins the lotto, first thing he's going to do, this
Hire a
is
chef?
interesting, hire a chef, which
Yeah.
I think is a great
Great
move.
idea. I would too.
But secondly, he's going to hire a dental hygienist to clean his teeth 5 days a week.
I may have.
I've never
Dude,
thought about
I might
that.
back
but
off to 3, just because I don't know if I could work it with 2, or
get
at
a
least
dentist
one.
chair
Yeah.
and everything, and just every morning there she is,
Dude.
polishing them up.
It's funny you say that because as you know, I've been listening to the 30 for 30 Sterling affairs,
Yeah.
and one of the things Sterling would do is he had that girl that wanted to suck him off in the car.
Yes.
Blah blah blah. She was all sorts of things to him, a driver, whatnot. But she was tasked with putting his socks on his feet in the morning.
Come on, man.
Yeah, she would put his socks on his feet in the
That's-
morning, and
that's
if
a real thing?
And if she didn't do it right, he would take them off and say, "Do it again," and hold his
Oh
feet
my
back.
god, that's some money right there.
She would brush his teeth. She would comb his hair for him in the morning.
Yeah, that's,
No, I don't want that. I want a legit dental
I want
hygienist.
that.
I don't want that. I
He
don't.
just
that's-
wants a clean grill, man.
I just want
Yeah.
a legit dental hygienist that knows what she's doing, or
What
he
about-
or she, whatever.
What about like Michael Irvin, who has a live-in barber?
No,
He's got the chair down
I
there.
remember seeing
No, I
an
don't
interview
need
with
that.
Lawrence King one time, and he was all about that. Like every day, he gets his hair trimmed up, and I'm like, dude,
Yeah,
you don't
it's
need
weird.
That shit every freaking day. What are you talking about?
No,
Yeah.
I wouldn't need that.
It's weird.
But I just know how much teeth are important, and I know that those people,
trust me.
they can get in there more than I can. So I've considered now more like maybe 3 days a week, because at 5 it might be a little excessive.
I
What else
just
would
wonder
be
if
on
it
your-
would become a bummer. Like if like the best thing in the world is going to get your teeth cleaned and that feeling afterward.
Ugh.
No, you don't like that?
Oh, I thought you. Well, my experiences at the dentist the last few years have been so drastically different than that amazing clean feeling.
Yeah, it's the amazing clean feeling.
Yeah, I
I'm
don't mind
referring
that. I
to.
love that.
That's a great feeling. And then E would lose that because every day it's like, okay. And then I bet you'd be bothered every time you ate. Like every time you'd ate, you'd be like, damn, my teeth.
Plus, if you did like a proper cleaning 3 days a week like that, you might
Okay,
eat
maybe
away
one,
enamel.
maybe one a week. That's
There
for
you
sure.
go.
But I would,
One
but
a
I-
week.
but-
I'm on board.
But I would for sure
Get the chair.
and some level. Yeah, sure. Why not? I make a little room in my
Would you
basement.
get the gas?
Nah.
Because if it
For
came with
clean
the like,
things?
oh, I get the gas for everything. I walk in the door, it's like gas now.
Nah.
I'm so scared. I'm shaking. My blood pressure goes up. They're like, Mike, you have to calm down when you walk into this building. You have to take it. Next time you come in here, we're going to take your blood pressure, but just know it's just a consultation. We're not going in your mouth at all, so you need to just relax.
Wow.
Remember that's how bad it's gotten for me. I was never like that as a kid, but after some of the extensive, and I mean fucking extensive dental
See, I
work
would be
I've
avoiding
done,
this.
it's
extensive
so
stuff.
painful.
I'd be avoiding that because I'm getting them cleaned once a week, hard, legit, not just once every 3 months by a person where they
See
kind of
that?
just.
Daily maintenance, huh?
Yeah.
Keep you out of that chair later.
I think I do like Sterling's girl. Let her blow me, and then she just brushes my teeth.
Kind of an all-purpose.
combs my hair.
That's what I was
Yeah.
suggesting to E is,
Comb
could
his
you
hair.
find a chef/dental hygienist? You know what I mean?
Chef-
Two stones, one
chef-
bird.
No, you don't want to half-ass it. I mean, if you're outsourcing and
If I'm-
paying for
right, if this is happening-
professional, you want a pro dentist.
Yeah,
you
you
don't
want
want
a
a pro
specialized-
chef part-time dentist, right? That would be the worst. Equally as bad would be a full-time professional dentist who's a
Giving a
weekend
shot
warrior
at the
chef.
cooking, right? Give him a shot at the
You know what I
cooking.
mean? I mean, you hire the top guys. He's made a shitload of money in the lotto. Is
Exactly,
what I believe.
exactly.
How much do you think you need to make? What do you need to win before you can start hiring?
I think 10 million-ish, maybe, before I'd feel comfortable.
10 million, but you're gonna lose 5 million off the top. You're down to 5
Okay,
mil.
so I'm saying 10. Well, okay, then 20. Whatever
Let's
it's
take home 10.
But then you got to pay Jay and I each a couple after taxes because I don't want to pay those
Sure.
fucking taxes.
Yeah, I'll
First
definitely
move-
see you guys the next day.
Jesus,
when I win.
before you even call a dental hygienist,
Oh,
you must
obviously.
call Merck.
Obviously.
Does your money work as hard as you do? You will spend upwards of 45 years working to support your lifestyle, provide for your family, and to set aside money for retirement. Do you know if you'll be able to retire on your terms? How could you know, Isis, if you don't have a plan? Let Mark Leibovitz at LPL Financial help to make sure your money's working as hard as you are. Call Mark today, 248-626-2000.
Securities and advisory services offered through LPL Financial, a registered investment advisor. Member FINRA SIPC.
And you got to remember, if you win 20 million, you take home 10, and then you give Jay 2, me 2, or 3, whatever, $2 million and $1, just so I get more
Yeah,
than
or
Jay.
nothing, whatever.
But that's a selfish and stupid way to look at things because nothing says that you will definitely be doing well with your money. If you give Jay 2 and me 2, odds are that one of us will invest well enough that where if you shit the bed with your decisions, one of us could bail you out. You need a couple bucks here or there in the future when you've gone through all of yours.
Spread the risk a little bit. E.
Yeah, then it's
I
like,
don't know that I believe
Jay,
that
Jay, you turned your 2 million into 20 million.
Yep, I did, didn't I?
And I can't make my car payment this month. Can you help a brother out? And
Personal responsibility, Isis.
Yeah, he hangs up on
think
you.
that I don't believe that. I don't trust.
But say
either
your
of
car
you.
payment's $200 a month. I bet Jay would give you 100
I don't
towards
okay.
that, wouldn't you, Jay?
Yeah, if he came over and cleaned my pool, something like that.
There you go. There you go. See,
Okay.
it's just taking away a little bit more of the risk that you would have.
Sure.
Okay, good. It is 9/11,
Yeah.
a day that none of us in this room will forget. E wants to make jokes about it, which I think is very inappropriate.
I didn't say I wanted to make jokes about it, but I think you can.
Do you remember where you were, Jay? I'm sure we've talked about this
course.
before.
Yeah.
Were you one of those in the car listening
No.
to Drew and Mike,
I
like most
no,
people?
I wasn't listening to Drew and Mike. And by the way, you say that strikes me as odd. No offense to you guys, but strikes me as odd that people would be listening to Drew and Mike on the day, probably the biggest news event ever in the history of
Isn't that
America,
crazy?
right? Yeah,
We had more
you wouldn't go to
information
a
than the local
source?
news did.
The local news.
We had as
What
much.
about, like, ABC or
We had as
NBC?
much coverage as them, and then some.
CNN, Fox.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. We were on those stations. We had them all on in the morning. We had reporters on. We had people on the ground in New York City on. It was taken very seriously, and we were on until 3 in the afternoon. So
Nice.
yeah, the people that
I was at work.
yeah.
To answer your question,
Were you
I was at the Court of Appeals at the time.
and did it come to a grinding halt?
Yeah, I mean once.
I mean,
yeah.
they weren't having court sessions that day.
Obviously, the first one hit, and it was like, I remember a guy coming in and going, "Hey, man, there's a plane just hit the World Trade Center." And I was like, "Oh, wow."
Where's the
you
World
know?
Trade Center?
Come on. No, I'm thinking like, all right, Cessna or something.
Yeah,
just
like
whatever.
everybody.
Some dude fucked up and accidentally hit it. And then when the second one hit, it was like, oh shit, and all the TVs went on in the conference room and all that stuff.
Yeah. And then did everything just stop? Because
Yeah.
if you remember, in those early moments, and I've got some stories today about this kind of thing, like what it was like unfolding in those moments. And I don't know how dialed in you were, or if it was just the shock of it all, like, oh, fuck. But the reports that were going around were like, federal buildings are under attack. And so if you're at the Federal Court of Appeals, I mean, I would think they would almost
it
be
wasn't.
evacuating.
Yeah, I was at the
things.
state court of appeals, but yes, we were told to go after it became obvious. Like, okay, those buildings just came down. Get out of here.
Yeah, and I remember there was talk of they're going after media outlets so that you can't report to the public, and it was like, fuck. I remember going and like gassing up. Like I jumped in Drew's car and ran to the corner and gassed up his car, and then came back and then ran to the corner and gassed up mine. It was like, you're not gonna be able to get gas,
Right.
You know, like all things like that took place, and you know, and the same thing was going on in Washington. Was like there might be dozens of planes that have been hijacked. We just don't know, and it was so crazy.
That's
that
what I
day.
recall being the biggest mystery. Like I don't recall being concerned about gas or things like that. But it was like, how many more of these are there? Like,
Yeah.
is this just going to go on all day, all night? What the hell?
Well, I remember absolutely being in that studio at Riff going, is something going to happen? Is someone coming for the tower? I mean, I remember having that feeling like you didn't know. Holy shit, there's reports they're going after the White House. We've seen the Pentagon now. Two of these huge structures in New York City. You know, I mean, it was unreal, and you just didn't know where it stopped. There's a book out, Ian. I need you to order this for us. The Only Plane in the Sky. It's was published yesterday, and it's really the first full account of 9/11, like oral history of 9/11. This thing sounds amazing. Like
Yeah, it
the
has
interviews.
the two pilots who were scrambled up to take out Flight 93
Yeah.
were it not to have crashed via the passenger's action.
Yeah.
One was said to say something like, I'll ram the cockpit, you ram the tail.
Wow.
And they were just going to take it down.
God, isn't that crazy?
Yeah, it is. I'd never heard that before. I mean, obviously, it was my assumption that there were jets up there ready to shoot it down. But I had never heard that these two that were up watching that plane specifically didn't have any missiles.
Yeah.
Weren't able to shoot anything at it, so they were literally going to ram the thing.
Yeah, the order to shoot down the U.S. airliners, and I don't know if Karl Rove.
How happy were they then when it got knocked down?
See, there's differing
'cause it would've
accounts of that.
They would.
Can you imagine that? It just starts going down, and yeah, I know. Part of you, like, oh, okay,
wow.
well, that takes care of that.
It's so this article I was reading today. It's hard to imagine an American leader authorizing the shoot down of a civilian aircraft, but in the first hour following the attacks, when it was unclear how many passenger jets had been weaponized by terrorists, that's what happened. President Bush, obviously, he's at that school in Florida. That perplexed look on his face, like, oh shit, the realization.
Yeah, reading the story to the kids.
Sequestered in the skies on Air Force One, frustrated by little information, spotty communication with handlers, and handlers determined to keep him safely away from the Capitol. Secretary of Defense Donald Rumsfeld, meanwhile, became unreachable after the Pentagon was attacked. That left Vice President Cheney in a bunker beneath the White House in the decision-making hot seat. With word that radar had spotted a plane headed straight for the White House, the executive mansion was evacuated and Secret Service quickly hustled Cheney and a handful of other high-ranking officials down the basement corridors to a Cold War-era underground bunker. Confusion reigned as the team watched the news unfold on TV and struggled to gather reliable info about the attack from the FAA, FEMA, the CIA, and the Pentagon. The most immediate questions revolved around how many planes remained in the sky, how many had been commandeered, and what to do about it. One moment of that first hour in the bunker would prove among the day's most controversial moments. That order from Cheney authorizing fighter jets to shoot down hijacked airliners. Did he actually have the authority to give the order? And did he and President Bush connect before or after Cheney ordered the fighters into battle? The White House bunker, it's known as the PEOC, which is the Presidential Emergency Operations Center, dates back to World War II. They set it up for Franklin Roosevelt. They gave old Frank a little bunker down there
Okay.
in the event of a surprise German attack if the Nazis are coming. And so they expanded that facility dramatically in the Cold War as part of a large renovation at the White House. In the years since, the bunker has been updated technologically, and while officials and presidents had used it as part of drills, 9/11 was the first time it had ever been used for its intended use. And so staff is there 24 hours a day, every day, and they were just going through their normal Tuesday morning thing. Staff meeting was about to start when the towers were struck. Within minutes, Cheney and others arrived. Navy Commander Anthony Barnes was on duty that morning. He looked around and sees Condoleezza Rice and Mary Madeline, who was Cheney's aide, Secretary of Transportation Norman Mineta. Mr. Mineta put on one of those TV monitors a feed where every airplane in the entire nation was. And so he's like, there must just be thousands, just a sea of these plane symbols all over. In those opening minutes, officials still struggled to understand what was happening, particularly as word came around 9:37 that the west face of the Pentagon had been hit too, targeted by American Airlines Flight 77, hijacked out of Dulles International Airport. So that first hour was mass confusion because there was so much erroneous info. It was hard to tell what was fact and what wasn't. We had to take it on face value until proven otherwise. Rumsfeld, meanwhile, totally breaks protocol. Pentagon's hit, and he ran to the crash site. Remarkably, one of the reasons Cheney was left seemingly on his own was because Rumsfeld, officially the second person in the military chain of command, rushed out of his suite at the Pentagon after the attack and went to the crash site personally. Under protocols for the secret system known as continuity of government, Rumsfeld should have been immediately evacuated, yet that day he found himself torn between his duties and the unfolding human tragedy. His actions, where he actually helped carry stretchers of wounded personnel out of the impact zone, would long endear him to the military, but placing himself in danger and out of communication in a moment of true crisis was precisely the wrong action from an official standpoint. So that vacuum with the Secretary of Defense beyond reach, the President himself, not, he's aboard Air Force One, means Cheney faced the critical hour from 9:30 to 10:30 almost entirely alone. One of the most critical questions to arise is how to handle the remaining hijacked planes. No one from air traffic control or the military was really sure how many planes in the air were still under the control of terrorists, but they feared it might be a dozen or more. So the Pentagon asked for permission for the unthinkable. The morning went from very bad to worse as the South Tower collapsed. A moment of truth arrived sometime shortly thereafter on 10 a.m., likely 10:12 to 10:18, according to the best reconstruction later. As Navy Commander Anthony Barnes says, the Pentagon thought there was another hijacked plane and they were asking for permission to shoot it down and identified hijacked commercial aircraft. I asked Vice President that question. He answered in the affirmative. I asked again to be sure. Sir, I am confirming that you have given permission. For me, being a military member and an aviator, understanding the absolute depth of what that question was and what that answer was, I wanted to make sure there was no mistake whatsoever about what was being asked. Without hesitation, in the affirmative, he said, any confirmed hijacked airplane may be engaged and shot down. Think about that, with like 300 people on board, those packed flights, Cheney didn't blink at the order. Scooter Libby, his chief of staff, recalled that the VP decided in about the time it takes a batter to decide to swing. As Cheney explained later, it had to be done. Once the plane became hijacked, even if it had a load of passengers on board who obviously weren't part of this, having seen what had happened in New York and the Pentagon, you really didn't have any choice. It wasn't even a close call. And so then they talk about how, the question that's lingered is, he's not really part of the military command. So, they've kind of hinted at, oh, yeah, it's crazy. Bush, he talked to him and stuff like that. But they're like, all arrows point to, and all the information they have kind of point more towards he made that call because somebody had to, but, I don't know.
Second in the chain of command, but not military command.
Right, exactly. He doesn't have that authorization. The question of whether Cheney technically had the authority to give that shoot-down order ends up being somewhat academic. Had it even been conveyed to fighters in the air fast enough, it would have meant little. United Airlines Flight 93 crashed in Pennsylvania Field at 10:03 a.m., minutes before Cheney's exchange in the PEOC.
Well, how did they resolve what we just talked about then? Those two pilots who say they were given orders.
I don't know. According to the 9/11 Commission and its reconstruction of the morning's events, it wasn't until 10:31 a.m. that Cheney's order even reached the military. So it reached it, but it wouldn't have been in time, they say, to catch these guys in that plane. You know what I mean? Does that make sense?
I feel like they were up in the air already, but okay.
Had Flight 93 continued on its path, the hijacked plane would have reached the nation's capital sometime between 10:13 and 10:23. While most speculate that Flight 93 was targeting the Capitol, the White House is much smaller. So they say they didn't get the order to go till 10:31. Had that jet not been taken down in the field, it would have continued on its path and arrived before 10:31 anyways. Boy, today is a day where I'm going to be watching a shit ton of History Channel. I threw that on this morning, and they've got all day long, like these amazing 2-hour-long documentaries of 9/11, including a new one, Inside Air Force One, premieres tonight at 9. And then Voices from Inside the Tower. I was watching that. It's like families, like they've got all the recordings of
Yeah.
families that called loved ones and left messages on machines.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It is, man.
I've watched. I think I've watched honestly. I haven't watched the new one, but I've watched probably most of the ones on the History Channel that you're talking about that they'll play today.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. I don't like to revisit those every year. I mean, I will at times, if I catch one on, watch a bit of it, but I won't be sitting down to watch those. Like
No.
maybe on the 20th anniversary or something, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like to go back to all that every single year.
Yeah. Well, I had it on this morning for a few minutes, and they were doing the one I'm talking about, Voices from Inside the Tower, and there's stuff I didn't remember because I'm sure I've seen everything you guys have seen. I've probably seen, But there's this firefighter, Oreo is his name, and they've got him, and he's doing limited check-ins down, and this dude's got 70 pounds on his back. And he's running up the tower. I mean, he's running into the thing, and they're like, "Where are you, Oreo?" And he's like, "Floor 44." I mean, he's from the ground. He's run into this hell. He makes it 78 floors to the impact, and family, they've got all this audio of him. I'm on floor 55. Some of the walls are compromised. Like giving detail of what to expect. And he made it to floor 78. They're showing on the building arrows like where that is, and it's like right below the impact spot. You're like, holy shit. This dude with all this stuff on his back is running up 78 flights of stairs. He's like, we need 2 units up here immediately. We've got, where the code word is for people that need help.
Yeah.
Injured people. And the family of him, they're grateful to have this for their kids and grandkids and great-grandkids. They'll be able to see what a hero this guy was. But they're reading, they've got the disc, but they've also got the transcripts they're reading from. And in that transcript, they know the exact moment the tower falls. And so it's, hearing their heartbreaking recollection of like, here he is talking, here's the last word he says, and it's like, just go, you've got we know, looking back, that he's got 1 minute to get the fuck out of there before that whole thing's coming down. Obviously, he doesn't know that. But it's just crazy, man. So if you can, order that book, and I'll give it to you again before whatever. But it's the guy that penned the first ever oral history of 9/11. And did you read the articles yesterday, kind of promoting this book, Jay?
Yeah.
Man, some of those, journalist Garrett M. Graff is the guy who spent much of his career covering the consequences, ramifications of 9/11 from Iraq wars, Afghanistan, doomsday plans in the U.S. Only Plane in the Sky focuses on the men and women who experienced firsthand the drama and stuff. And so seeing 9/11 through the lens of others forever changed my understanding of that day. I was really unprepared for how emotional the writing of this book would be. I cried almost every day when I was drafting it last summer. And so in the book, Ileana Mariego, who worked as for a volunteer agency in Virginia, talked about how undocumented immigrants start calling and asking if they can help. Suddenly the phones are ringing. This is the country we chose to come to. Nobody will destroy our country. I'm not legal in the United States. Do you think they will accept me to come do volunteer work? Holy shit. That's pretty powerful. Richard Eichen, he's a consultant. He's in the North Tower, 90th floor. I said, okay, I better figure out how badly I'm hurt. I felt that my face was all bloody. Left side of my head was open. I could put my hand in there. I could feel my skull. I could actually feel the bone. It stung, but it didn't really hurt because I think I was in shock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think you were.
yes,
Yep.
you were.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say that's a pretty fair assessment. Harry Wazer, he's at Cantor Fitzgerald. I did not have a clue how badly I was hurt. I thought I'd just get downstairs. I have to get to the lobby to get help. As I was walking out, I caught a glimpse of my arm and just saw a blackened flap of skin hanging down. It was almost matter of fact. Telling myself, okay, you don't want to look at that again. Look at your feet, look at the steps, just keep going down. This one firefighter, Joe Graziano, ladder 13, we got on a truck and it seemed like the city opened up for us. We got there in no time. There were 6 of us. I was the only one who came home. Joe Napolitano, I knew my son was with the rescue company and he's probably going to be going in. I wanted to tell him, don't be a hero. After several attempts trying to get through to him, busy the whole time. I called my house to see if my wife spoke to my son. I said, the phone's busy. I want to tell him not to take any chances. My wife said, crying, he's already there. He died during the effort at 9/11. Yeah, so it's crazy how much time and effort went into this book, though. That Garrett worked for 2 years with oral historian Jenny Pachuki, who works at the 9/11 Museum in New York and has dedicated her career to the stories of the attack. They collected 5,000 relevant oral stories from people around there. Dr. Charles Hirsch, chief medical examiner. I will never forget seeing an airplane engine in the middle of West Street and then an amputated hand next to it. Alan Reese, director of the Trade Center Port Authority, Detective Richie Paw, and I went out into the plaza. We saw a gash in the tower and people jumping. It really wasn't safe to be out there.
God, that people jumping.
I know, it's the worst.
I can't. That's the one when I watch those things and you see that. It's fucking incredible to see that.
It wasn't safe
just
to
think
be out
about
there, but we see the wheel of a plane, and this detective said, "That's evidence. We have to take it back with us." I said, "Are you crazy?" He said, "No, that's it." And he went up and he dragged this fucking thing back to the Port Authority. And I thought this was really fascinating, and we'll move on. Garrett said, the time on September 11th, between 8:46 and 9:03, the time between the first plane crashes into the North Tower and United Flight 175 crashes in the South Tower, America looked at that first crash and shrugged. This is what you were talking about, Jay.
Absolutely.
You know, we all went, "Oh, what kind of idiot flies a Cessna into a fucking building?"
Yeah.
I quote one of the New York Harbor ferry captains that day, Peter Johansson, saying that his passengers all thought there was an innocent explanation for the crash. Honestly, I think most people felt it was a navigation accident. The reason I say that is our ferry continued around to Pier 11, the Wall Street terminal, and there were about 100 people on board. Every single one of them got off and went to work that morning. As they were walking off, there were envelopes and letters floating down from the sky. The people in the South Tower stayed at their desks. People in Manhattan continued their commutes. America's innocence didn't end at 8:46. It ended at 9:03. Today, you hear a motorcycle backfire in Times Square or a helicopter crashes atop a building in New York, and everyone defaults to an attack until proven otherwise.
Yeah,
and
for
that is so fucking true, man.
So, you still think there could be a funny 9/11
Yeah,
joke?
I do, but
I can't conceive of one, honestly.
I don't know. I don't really care.
I'm
but
not saying anyone who
yeah.
tries ought to be,
Yeah,
silenced and silenced.
I mean, I think I've heard 9/11 jokes,
I don't
honestly,
know.
but
Yeah, I haven't.
I'm sure there are, and I wouldn't fault someone for going there. And it's definitely personal to us. And
But again, I've talked about this 100
Gilbert Godfrey did. I mean, he got his ass in it. I think he lost his Aflac gig.
No,
'cause
that
of
was
it.
over the tsunami thing.
Was it tsunami? I know
Yeah.
he did 9/11 stuff like 3 days after 9/11.
Yeah, but that's not why the tsunami was why he got the Aflac next.
No, he should get the
But-
Do you remember the tsunami joke? I don't.
I don't remember it.
Do you remember his 9/11 joke?
I mean, yeah. No, I don't remember his 9/11 joke, but I know
Just
what you're
remember
talking
him
about.
telling it. Yeah.
I know he got in shit for it. Maybe you can find it, E.
What was I saying? I don't know. Doesn't matter, I guess.
All I know is those hijackers cost me a shitload of money. Remember I had my titty bar gigs
Oh,
that I was doing on
yeah.
Tuesdays
Yeah.
in Canada. And I would get like, I've probably told this story a dozen times, but whatever. I would get like $300, $250 or $300 for 2 hours. They'd give me a limo and a bar tab for me and my friends. I'd go there and they'd pay me in cash. And I would just bring over some CDs, some concert tickets, some T-shirts. And people would drop their name in a box. And I'd sit there and have a few cocktails with the ladies. And then I would get up and I'd go, "Hey, all right, we're going to draw some names here, everybody. Thanks for coming out again." And try to, Bill Mahalski, you win a fucking Riff T-shirt. And Bill would come over and, this guy wins a PlayStation game. Sometimes we'd have Tiger tickets and they were a good team then, or no, they sucked then, but Wings were really big.
Right.
So, but yeah, that day, I remember talking to Steve DeBruzen, who was the account manager on that. And he had both the titty bar gigs and I did both of them. So I'd get like $500 cash every week to just go for a couple hours to each of these, gigs and hand stuff out. And it was like, "Dude, what do we do?" He's like, "Well, I'll try to make it out tonight." Because he would say that a lot. "I'll try to come out tonight, Tuesday night to the gig and blah, blah, blah." I was like, "Fucking gig? There's not going to be a gig tonight in Canada?" He's like, "Yeah, why wouldn't there be?" I'm like, "Steve, are you..."
The evening of 9/11.
Yeah, the evening of 9/11, going through an international border, on top of it. And he's like, "What are you talking about?" I was like, "Dude, have you been listening to the show this morning?" He's like, "Yeah, that's in New York. What does that have to do with us?"
Seriously?
Yes. And I'm like, "Dude, hold on." I'm like, "Steve, whatever. I mean, if you think that's going to happen, I mean, I'll play ball. But dude, there's no fucking way anybody's getting through the border or anything's going on at that titty bar in Canada tonight." I never did that gig again.
Oh man.
That gig never happened again.
You know what? It's funny. Like, I will say, like, I was in school, and I don't know what we were supposed to do. I mean, I guess I don't know what teachers' reactions were supposed to be. We happened to have a late day that day. This weird thing that we did where I didn't have to show up till like 11 or something like that. Anyway, I do remember that I had a math teacher, and every other class I was in, all we were doing is watching it and or talking about it. And like, she made us still do this thing. And I'm not trying to say that I don't know whether we should have or not, but I do think still that it was a little, I don't
could
know,
do
man.
math.
You can't take
Can't do
one
math on
fucking
9/11?
Well,
Wait, they didn't send you guys home
No,
for the whole day?
nope. I did have a cross country meet that got canceled that day, but I did not get sent home. But
Wow,
like,
I
and our
thought
class
most
was-
schools let out.
well, not mine.
Yeah.
But every other class I had, again, maybe I'm
Did you
wrong.
feel like you learned something that day though that you wouldn't have otherwise gotten out of the school day
I
or the
don't
year,
remember
the
what we
curriculum
talked
for the
about.
year?
I don't remember what we talked about that day. But
How
anyway,
could
I do
anybody
remember-
not be talking about 9/11?
I know, I
that day?
just
you would think they would
remember
just
her reaction.
ride one of those TVs in from the AV room.
We already
the
had
big
yeah,
strap on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
I know. It's like, again, I'm not trying to be that kid that just thinks like, well, we should have been watching TV, or I don't know, but I do think that
I feel
it was
like you
kind
shouldn't
of.
have been doing math.
We could have talked about what happened. I mean, because it was a short day. Our class was only like 30 minutes anyway, like compared to like 45.
What year was this? What grade?
2001. So.
I know, but I mean, what
Oh.
grade are you?
I was in cross country already, and I was driving.
So
to
high school?
So I must have been
Ninth
junior
grade.
year.
Junior year, okay. Yeah, I would think you would just go, fuck this, I'm out of here, and just walk right out of the school, get in your car, and go.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I guess I don't know. It doesn't matter. But
Math
I do
teachers
remember
are very
thinking that was a
black and
little
white.
weird.
They are. Yes, math teachers are very black and white.
Yeah, she was definitely a teacher. I mean, she was nice actually, but she was a teacher that was very much just. She was
shocked,
never.
I'm
taken-
shocked by that. Aren't you
Was
surprised
it
by
later
that,
in
Jay?
the day? Because maybe she had been through so many hours of it. Like, okay.
Yeah, I
we
guess.
gotta
I
get
mean,
back to
technically it
normal.
was probably. I mean, God, how long did school? When did school even end in high school? I'm trying to think. Like, we probably started
3?
at 10:30 and we went to like 2 or something. So I don't know when it would have been. but-
10:30.
Well, I mean, normally you start at 7, I think, and ish or 7:30.
Yeah.
And then we probably started at 10:30 because we had this late start day, like I said.
Oh, okay. I was
Anyway.
listening. I didn't catch that part. So you went to school after the fucking buildings were hit?
I got to be honest. When I had the thing that Jay said, because when I didn't even know where. You know what? I didn't know what the Twin Towers were, or I mean, I guess I knew they were in New
Dude,
York.
I was thinking
guess, but
Minnesota. I was thinking Twin Cities or
I
whatever.
really didn't know, and I picked up.
serious?
I'm dead serious. I didn't know the Twin Towers were in New York City on that day. I didn't know there were 7 buildings.
The World Trade Center.
World
you
Trade
didn't
Center?
know that?
No, not at all. I remember going, what? There's 2 of them.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, I kind of had.
No,
this-
we didn't know shit. I was ignorant as hell about New York at that point.
I had the same reaction that kind of Jay did, and like most people does sound like. I picked up Chubbs, and he said some plane hit a building in New York, and I go, was it, what was it, commercial or whatever? He's like, yeah, and I'm kind of just like, oh, I don't know, probably a mistake, I guess. And then we went to fucking Big Boy, and we went to, and during that period, that's when they both came down, I guess. But I don't think I got it. I don't think I did understand right away how big it was. Honestly, I really don't. I really don't think that. It wasn't until like later that day when like canceled the cross country practice, and then like, I'm driving home and seeing the lines at the gas station, and 99.5, which I was listening to country station, is not doing country music in any capacity.
What were they doing? Were they playing,
They were just-
broadcasting
they
the
were just-
news?
Yeah, they were just not syncing.
They were just taking the feed.
Yes, yeah,
Simulcasting.
Yeah, they were
yep.
just taking the national
Their
feed.
affiliate, yeah.
And that was crazy, man. Because I think that is something that I do forget about. Like that lasted for like a week.
Oh
Like,
my
like,
God,
it
dude.
wasn't just the next morning. Now they were playing. Dr. Don was playing Garth Brooks again. Like
No,
it was like
no,
a
and it was
week.
a real. Like I remember, you didn't know. Like, okay, when is it? When is
going
it?
to be?
Hold on.
Yeah.
When is it okay to play a commercial again? Without
Well, that was
looking
the
like
question
you're,
SNL asked, right? Is it okay
Right.
to laugh again?
Yeah, but that was a couple weeks later, a week later, whatever that was, for their season kickoff.
Yeah.
But for people in like local media and stuff, it was like, do we look like we're capitalizing on a tragedy by
You go
playing
back to normal?
a fucking My Pillow commercial right now? Those you've always got these commercials, wall side windows or fucking whatever,
Right. I mean,
some
even in the most big-
Dietrich Furs, there's some cheesy jingle, and it's like coming out of hardcore like tragedy news. It's a fine line, man. Like
It'll be
when
the
when
only-
is it okay to do that again? When is it okay to play like a Motley Crue song again?
Right.
You know what I mean? And then you got into all the shit with, let the bodies hit the floor. Let the bodies hit. Like, can you play that song?
God,
nope.
yeah, that was all. You're
Nope.
right.
You can't play that fucking song. Like anything about, you know,
That was just one of those
airplanes
times-
or crashes or.
I don't know if it'll ever happen again. I mean, who knows? Especially with how media changes right now. You know, so much being on just internet and stuff like that. But like, you're right. Like, even in the most biggest tragedy, you guys talk about the O.J. Simpson trial, as much as we've talked about it, it captured the whole world. But to the point where there was nothing on any TV. 2, 4, 7, Fox, you know, ESPN was just, I think, taking like whatever their affiliate of news version was. It wasn't Sports Center. It was just, you know, if they're associated with NBC or whatever it was, ABC, I guess they are.
And then people started getting into like deep dive news story, like even Sports Center would just cover athletes tied in with 9/11.
Yeah,
you know what I
totally.
mean? Like that's the way it went. And then 2020, as they started to come out of it, it's like 9/11 stuff. 9/11. That's all the world saw, and it was going on all over the world. It wasn't even just
Yeah.
here. Like the whole world witnessed that.
I do remember Chubbs bitching about that. Like, I think 3 days later, I remember
He had enough? He
Yeah,
had enough
it's funny because
9/11?
I actually
Chubbs is a prick. Chubbs sounds like a real douchebag.
I actually didn't appreciate the day that it happened or the moments that it was happening, but I definitely remember watching a shit. Like, I was glued to the TV every
Yeah.
night for whatever reason. But yeah, Chubbs, I do remember driving home from a cross country practice one time, and Chubbs just being like, you know, play some fucking music again, Christ, or something.
You guys don't have a CD player in your car.
Yeah,
Play your own damn music. You don't need Dr. Don to play you fucking Garth Brooks.
I know. These are some of the. So I think he did like 12, by the way. But these are some of the tsunami ones here.
I just split up with my girlfriend, but like the Japanese say, there'll be another one floating by any minute now. Japan is really advanced. They don't go to the beach. The beach comes to them.
So you can do that about Japan, though, right? Or
Yeah.
maybe you can't if you represent Affleck. But, it's easier to do it about a faraway land.
Yeah.
Really hard to pull off a 9/11 jokey. I'm just warning you.
I mean, I don't know why I would tell one because it's just not my style. But I've heard people make maybe not even 9/11 jokes, but I've heard people do something and then kind of reference like 9/11. Like,
If we spun into something funny out of a discussion here, I wouldn't consider that like dangerous. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
I guess when I said 9/11 jokes, I guess I didn't mean
Thinking
full
of
on.
somebody's
Just,
stand up doing a 9/11
Yeah, yeah.
joke.
I don't. 18 years later.
Can't envision one that would be funny.
Yeah, I know that people don't touch Hitler shit for the most part.
that's not
Come
even.
on,
I don't
man.
even know that that's true.
Yeah, they
Well,
do.
I guess they sort of do. You're not supposed to though.
9/11 special, at least for now.
Yeah.
It'll be like everything.
It won't be
with time,
forever.
It'll be like Pearl Harbor. You know, all of us kind of Pearl Harbor, and we remember it and think about it a little bit. But unless you were there,
Yeah. I need to go upstairs because I know I kept. We used to get like the news, the Free Press, USA Today, Oakland Press. Like we would get all the papers delivered to us because back in those days, the internet in its infancy, you'd be ripping and reading stories. And so I remember just grabbing a couple of each of those papers and brought them home. Like the next day, I have all the major papers, like what on
That
9,
is a funny thing about
on
it. I used to
September
keep
12th,
papers.
what 9/11 looked like, you know.
I used to keep papers all the time. That's a funny thing that I haven't thought about in a while. But like, you know, Red Wings win the championship.
Oh, yeah,
and you
I still have all those.
Oh, I know,
Oh,
I do.
yeah.
But it's just like there's
You
nothing.
probably didn't collect any of that shit, did you, Jay?
you know, my journey toward minimalism has precluded that.
You know, are you
But,
tossing old newspapers like that? 'Cause
I am. I'm tossing a lot of.
Are they
shit.
gone?
Yeah. I've gotten rid of a lot.
why
of
wouldn't
stuff
you
like
go? Oh, I bet these clowns would be interested.
Well, I already have them. Whatever he
that.
has, if they're of sports,
I
I
didn't keep all
have
that
them.
much. Just like those season-ending Sports Illustrated.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah,
summaries.
yeah,
Are like,
yeah.
get out of here, whatever.
Yeah, when are you ever going to read those
Yeah.
again? That's true.
But who amongst us thought there wouldn't be another 9/11 style attack, right?
Oh,
Yeah,
for
for
sure.
Fucking remarkable that
It is.
there hasn't been a mass attack like that on
Seems like they still could. That's what's weird about it.
U.S.
Like,
grounds.
I mean, they do the stories on the TSA and the fact that it doesn't really catch almost anything. Like,
Yeah.
like they get shit through there. All I know, there's other measures.
But there's a lot of ways that they do surveillance, like
I know.
just not giving them the ability to even plan anything
Right.
overseas. You know what I mean? Like, but if you've got radicalized pockets in the States, there's nothing to preclude you from going and getting a truck and going and doing something. You know, I mean, but 9/11 style hijacking a plane.
I definitely thought you're right, Jay. I thought almost like that. Oh my God, this is just gonna be a
Yeah,
thing
everybody.
now.
I mean, that was what the leaders were telling us. It's like, look, we're going to try our best here, but
Yeah.
it's you got to just assume there'll be another one of these coming.
Well, and we've not like it hasn't been said 1,000 times, but you know the fact is, if you're on the defense of that, you need to bat 1,000, and the bad guys need to fucking just hit once.
And when you're
They
willing
hit
to
one.
kill yourself, it's really hard to stop.
Yeah, kamikaze style. It doesn't, whatever. I thought it was really sad and fascinating at the same time as well. That book that I'm asking you to order for us, if you can get a couple copies, that'd be really cool. The people you don't think about, like the ticketing agents at Delta that took the terrorist tickets and ripped them or whatever and let them onto the plane.
Right,
Like the
right.
Oh
guilt,
shit, that's crazy.
you know what I
dude,
mean?
yeah.
Like the things like that, the people you don't think about. You think about, the planes hitting and the buildings going down. You think of the heroes and the recovery and all that, but little people like that, the baggage handlers that dealt with these people individually and let them through and knowing what happened. And it's like, holy shit, man.
that is interesting,
The
actually.
guilt and
The
it's,
flight instructor who taught these guys how to
Yeah.
fly a plane but
not
not take
land
off
it.
or land.
yeah, right. That's right. Forgot about
Jeez.
that. Yeah, so I don't know. It's a weird day. It always feels weird on this day to me. I'm glad I've been down there a couple times now to New York. I always wanted to go down there, and it freaked me out. I was watching like a week or two ago. What's the Eddie Murphy movie? Is it Trading Places?
Yeah.
And that's, a lot of that towards the end is filmed in New York City. And there's some really iconic scenes of them pulling up to the World Trade Center and just seeing those buildings and all their glory and knowing like, oh my God, I know that structure bar that was the only thing left standing when these things fell. And it's now in the museum, the National Museum, down there at One World Trade. And just it's crazy, man. It kind of brings a perspective and watching it this morning, seeing those. Have you been there yet, E?
Yeah.
So you've been to the site,
Quite a
right?
few times.
Okay. So the water fountains
Yep.
and shit and like all the trees that
That's
were
always
planted.
It's always a weird. The times I've gone, like, because people people take photos and videos.
Yeah.
But like I'll say when I see people taking selfies, I'm kind of like, really? Do you need a selfie? Like, it seems different a selfie versus
Yeah.
taking it to say like,
Yeah.
oh my god, this is
Yeah,
crazy.
I don't think I took a selfie there.
I remember seeing it. And I remember thinking, selfie?
Me?
Like, no, not you.
Oh.
Just a person. And going like, selfie.
What I thought was really weird is because you're looking up at this structure that is so massive. One World is it now? One
Yeah.
World Trade now?
Yeah.
It's just the one tower, and then they've got the two empty boxes that they've got the waterfalls in where the original towers were. But looking up at One World Trade now, and this unbelievable building, and I've been to the top of it and all that, and looking out around New York City, and sitting down there, planes are still flying in through Manhattan.
Right.
And so you're looking up and you see a plane, and just the angle as you're looking so far straight up. I have pictures of it.
imagine it, right?
I have pictures of it. The plane looks like it's about to smash into the building, and it's like, boy, that's an eerie fucking feel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Seeing the plane come across the sky like that, it's kind of nuts.
Must
So,
be weird to work in that tower for sure.
yeah. You know what? It's funny you say that. I didn't even think about it when I was up there. But there's like two restaurants, I think.
Yeah.
And they're really overpriced. And
Expensive to go up there, which is why I haven't gone up there. But
yeah, I figured, who knows how many times I'm going to be here, so I want to definitely do it once. And you go to the very top or whatever, and it's just glass, floor to ceiling, all the way around. So you're like getting 360 views of the entire city. So, you pay for that, but then like
$32 for adults to go to the top, huh?
I know.
yeah.
I think
That's just to go to the top, though, I think.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like a straight elevator up, but then if you want food,
Oh.
I remember Beth and I went down to like this food court. It sucked. What they had sucked, and it was like, I'd rather wrap the tour up and go somewhere else and eat than pay $50 for a fucking shitty bagel or whatever
Right.
it was. It was terrible. But the restaurant wasn't open yet. Anyway, go ahead, Jake.
Hey, insurance, we all need it. Most of us don't know what kind of coverage we have or who provides it. Let fellow TDC listener Brent Wasik from Wasik Insurance Services change all that. Brent has over 30 years in the business. He offers all types of insurance coverage: auto, home, health, life, business, commercial, and more. Call Brent Wasik at 734-455-1900.
It's our boy Brent. I'm sure he's been down to New York City. Hey, are you following Antonio Brown?
Yeah, man.
What
rape,
the
rape charges now?
Fuck.
Or civil
Yeah.
suit.
Civil suit, yeah. He's not facing criminal charges at this point, but I don't know why he wouldn't. It sounds like it's all in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Chick he met at Central Michigan, I believe.
Yeah.
When he was going to school there.
She
Isn't
was
that
a
weird?
gymnast.
Yeah, she's a gymnast and something else. Yeah, I guess gymnast. And no, personal trainer. So she was his personal trainer for a while.
Gymnast at Central Michigan.
Yeah, I think she still teaches gymnastics too. Has like a gym or something. Do you have pictures of her? Brittany Taylor's her name. Identified herself late last night after filing a lawsuit against him. Unfortunately, this is going to be another one of those he said, she said sort of, right? I mean, her details are scary and sound awful,
Yeah.
but, you know, none of us were there.
Well, he doesn't have the just look at her defense. She's a good-looking chick.
Yep, exactly. 2000. So she claims he raped her in 2017 and 2018 when she worked for him and trained him. They met when they were paired as Bible study partners. Huh.
Wow.
Boys, pair them up for Bible study.
That went south.
Yeah, it sure did.
Is that what we're calling it now?
I guess. So yeah, they were studying at Central in 2010, and they were paired as Bible study partners while studying at Central in 2010. Taylor claims got back in touch in 2017 when he needed help with his flexibility and ankle strength. Boy, it seems like in 2017 he could do better than her as far as where he is professionally, as far as getting the very best care.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Needs to call a friend from Central Michigan.
Yeah. His
on
old
ankles.
Bible study partner. Seems like nefarious at best, right out of the gate.
I wouldn't read into that.
Really?
Yeah.
I would.
She's a personal trainer, friend of his. I don't know.
I know, but he's in the NFL with the best doctors on the planet and access to even better.
I don't know.
That strikes me as odd. It seems like there would be an ulterior motive as to why you would get a hold of a fairly hot chick from your past, but who knows? Maybe you're right. She would travel to Florida and Pittsburgh to train Brown and says he sexually assaulted her by forcibly trying to kiss her and then calling on her back.
Ah, God.
I know. You know, it's like when you start out, it's like, hey, forcibly tried to kiss me. It's like, okay, that's, a lot of guys go in, they mistime things, and you go in for a kiss, and
But
it's
then,
rejected. But
how do you explain?
you come on a back. What?
There's no excuse.
No. She also claims he raped her in May of 2018 in Miami after a night out with another football player. See, why would we go back months and months later if he's coming on your back? And don't want to blame the victim here.
It's going to be the first question.
She also claims in her statement through her attorney, as a rape victim of Antonio Brown, deciding to speak out has been an incredibly difficult decision. I have found strength in my faith, my family, and from the accounts of other survivors of sexual assault. Speaking out removes the shame that I have felt for the past year and places it on the person responsible for my rape. I will cooperate with the NFL and any other agencies. However, at this time, of course, respect my privacy. She would not say whether or not she'd reported the attacks to police. The first incident is 2017 in June. They were at his home in Pittsburgh. He had not booked a hotel room for her, so she was staying with him. She's getting dressed in an upstairs bathroom. He pops in the bathroom with his penis exposed.
These things happen.
He then grabbed and kissed her without consent. Maybe that happened. I don't know, but I know most bathrooms I'm aware of have locks on them. And if I'm changing in one, or if I'm a chick changing in a bathroom, isn't that an automatic? You lock the door, or no?
I don't know what everybody does. I personally would, yeah.
I personally would 100% of the time. E?
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
You guess? Yeah? Like that? You sound like you're not 100%.
I think if I was a chick, 100%. I think as a guy, I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
I don't
if
know.
people think that.
If it were me at Antonio Brown, I wouldn't lock the door. But if I were a chick, yeah.
Yeah,
probably.
I don't know.
But
Really?
if I were good friends with him, I'm not thinking he's gonna bust in nude with his panous hanging out.
Like, I don't lock the door when I go to the bathroom in your house when it's just you guys.
If you're
here.
taking a piss?
Yeah.
Or taking a shit?
Either way,
Yeah, I don't either. Maybe I shouldn't tell you guys this. You can bust in on
Right.
me next
Dude,
time.
maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm paranoid. I lock the bathroom door every fucking time I go in it. I don't care where I am. That bathroom door is locked 100% of the time without fail.
But as a girl, I would 100% everywhere I went do it, no matter what. the situation.
Emails. I'd be interested to hear what people say. Email at DetroitCast.com. If it's like, nah, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I leave the door cracked. I don't care if I'm taking a shit, getting nude.
I mean, you
I don't know.
in
I
your
lock it
own
no
house,
matter.
if you're in your own house.
My own house, I lock the
my
fucking
God.
bathroom.
Kidding me?
Yeah, I don't trust people walking in and out of the house and shit. I don't know. I just don't.
Wow.
I don't
yeah,
want to be. I don't
I
want to be
wanna-
exposed and I want one more line of defense. That lock. I'm not saying someone can't just break it off or kick the door in, whatever. But I want a little more time.
I don't think I've ever locked
get
the
my
door in my own
skivvies up.
house.
If I locked the door in my own
Really?
house, it was back when I was younger. Maybe I was jerking off or something. I mean, but I mean,
Thank you, E. Yes, definitely lock the door if you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, in the basement one that I pretty much use all the time, I don't even close the door.
Yeah.
Like it's just wide open.
well, she claims she was in a relationship with another man at the time, was horrified by Brown's conduct, but that she did not want to lose the professional relationship. I don't blame her for that at all. I could totally see how, oh shit,
Dude's
he's,
paying me $500 an hour
yeah, he's a
to work on
professional,
ankle strength.
and he's one of the best athletes in the planet. He's one of the best receivers in football. I can totally see why you would want to keep that relationship intact as long
Yeah.
as you could. Later that month, the pair were at his home in Florida so they're watching a church service on her iPad, and he's
This is
behind
when
her.
he comes on her back?
She doesn't know. She has no idea that he's there, and he's just fucking jacking. And she's just sitting here, and on the third day, the Lord created the fucking blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden,
Damn, I didn't know she was watching a church service. That's
says
twisted, man.
the pair were at his home watching a church service. So I don't know if he got
Wow,
up
that's
like,
twisted.
yeah. And so he's just quietly,
Allegedly.
allegedly, yeah. And then all of a sudden, a looper just lands on her back, and she just feels wet.
Why would you? I don't even understand. Never mind.
Before she knew or understood what was happening, Brown jacked it all over Miss Taylor, and she felt a wet spot on her back, then suddenly realized what happened. Thoroughly disgusted, she exclaimed, "What are you
Ah!
I don't.
Damn, man, you came on my back!" She went with, "Ooh."
Okay.
It's a fair,
very fair.
right? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, like, "Oh, God," would be acceptable, right?
When pressed for comment, ooh would work. I don't know.
First reaction, you get come on. I mean, like,
I don't.
would you go, I might go, "Fuck, dude."
Yeah,
Yes.
probably like that.
I think "fuck, dude" would be
Yeah,
before
like-
I would go, "Ew."
Yeah, probably fuck.
Be like, "Fuck, dude, did you just come on me? What the fuck, dude?" That's what I would do. Jay, I think you would swing before saying anything.
I don't.
You might turn and swing.
It'd be so hard to believe that just happened. You know?
What, you
be
think you're
processing-
better than the rest of us? You can't be cummed on?
That's not what he's
I
saying.
think you're
You're
sitting there
above being cummed
thinking you're
on?
both watching a church service. I think it's going to take a moment to register.
Yeah. But once it does register,
Wait, what? Huh?
but then you would go, "The fuck, bro?
Yeah.
I think he just came on me." So he says, she exclaims, "Ooh." Brown, unfazed by her reaction, jokingly responded, "Ah, bitch, you know I'm sorry," and then walked out of the room. So it sounds like he apologized.
No, I'm sorry.
Yeah. She
That's
phoned
not.
her-
There's no way he was sorry. Like, what do you mean he's sorry?
Dude, clearly, this is her words, not mine. She clearly says that he was very sorry. "Oh, bitch, you know I'm sorry." Afterwards. So, and then he left the room. She phoned her mom and told her immediately, "Antonio Brown just came on my back." And I went, "Ew." She's like, "Get out of there." She also told his chef. Shortly
What about
afterwards.
his dental hygienist?
Yeah. I would tell who. Anyway, shortly afterwards, Brown fired her. He then sent profane and angry messages where he mentioned the masturbation, called her a failed gymnast. And I have those here. And I don't know if you want to read these, Jay. Have you read these yet?
No, I haven't seen this.
Can you read Worse Than E English?
I'll try.
You want to try?
See what I can do.
So these were emails he sent to her.
It's very classy.
Okay.
You got this? It's hard. I practiced it a few times. If you need some help, just let me know.
Dude, this is going to be really rough.
He's a college graduate. What are you talking about?
I jacked my dick on your back, slept with on bed. Fuck your knowledge, bitch. I been all pro before I even knew you.
Yeah.
You hit me up online, bitch, crying. I didn't hit you up. You never left my house since you had hotel. You feel asleep on my couch.
Fell.
Fuck out of here, my baby mama. Trick your dumb ass. Blast me, you're a failure. Telling every... I can't even read a sentence.
So he's, "I jacked my dick on your back, slept with you in bed. Fuck your knowledge, bitch. I've been all pro before I even knew you. You hit me up online, bitch, crying. I didn't hit you up. You never left my house since you had hotel. You fell asleep on my couch. Fuck out of here. My baby mama, trick your dumb ass. Blast me, you're a failure telling everybody you own a gym. What you gon' blast? Don't fucking write my phone line, bitch. Thought it was easy to get a come up. get a come up. I mean, like come up to the bigs, come up and work with them. Using God alias fake ass hoe. You and your mama thought y'all hoes had come up. Fuck out of here. Don't write my team. Thanks for giving us control of your life for 3 weeks. Next time you and your mama plotting on a come up, make sure you all hoes pick the right man, dumbass hoes. Maybe somebody you already fucked. Your mama controlling your life like she gonna help. The come up. You failed. At gymnast, you were nobody. Me, nigga, a laugh about this shit. Me busting your ass, busting on your back. Ha ha. Me busting on your back.
That's an admission. That's an admission.
Yeah, a laugh about this shit. Me busting on your back. Laughy face emojis. I'll let him know when I'm bored. I'll let you know when I'm bored. You a disgrace to little girls. You a failed gymnast living in the past at your mama house with your mama. Lucky I showed you around. You're welcome. My baby mama know a weak bitch when she spot one. You played yourself.
He does realize that you can print out emails, right? Does he realize this doesn't just go into some thing and disappear?
Only for her eyes.
Right.
That's a strong opening line, though. I jacked my dick on your back, slept with you in bed. Fuck your knowledge, bitch. I've been all pro before I even knew you. That's a strong opening, isn't it? Is it not?
But yet it seems so stream of consciousness. So
Yeah, he doesn't. I don't think he knows what a period is. I think that's what we're running into. He certainly doesn't double space after any sort of period, exclamation point.
Imagine him typing this out. Like, he's just like, oh, yeah, this is like,
Hell yeah.
well, take care of that. I'm good.
So he sends those messages, right? Those messages get sent. And then in February 2018, things have calmed down. He got back in touch to ask her to, oh, man, you won't work for me again and shit. And she ignored his first message. He then sent her another message in March asking her if she hated him and apologizing. I apologize first off with so much going on around me and my actions and whatnot.
My actions.
So much going on around me, I couldn't help but bust on your back and shit. My bad. So she agrees to go back to work with him. I would have highly recommended against that. I really would have.
well, knowing what you know now, for sure.
Yeah. She agreed on the condition that he had
He
promised
didn't
things.
come on her back. I mean,
Things would be different.
okay.
She demanded he stop flirting with her and book her hotel rooms whenever she traveled to work with him. He agreed, and they resumed working together in April 2018. At the time, Brown's life was spiraling into chaos. Many of the people who worked for him previously had quit, including that chef and another trainer. They could no longer take Brown's mistreatment and his troubling behavior. He was also having trouble balancing his responsibilities
Interesting.
coming from his many endorsements. This motherfucker is endorsed by Campbell's Soup, Nike, Pepsi, Pizza Hut, AT&T, DirecTV, Rite Aid, and others.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Do you know how much bank is
Yeah.
in any one of those?
If you could just show up, you mean?
He showed up late to events he was required to attend for those sponsors or otherwise failed to hold up his contractual obligations. Her role then turns into one of an assistant. She was tasked with booking flights for him, keeping his travel schedule, making sure he arrived at sponsored events on time, even babysitting his children. You know what? That's not a bad gig, and somebody has to do that.
Right.
Somebody, when you're at that level, somebody has to be keeping a schedule going
Yeah.
and going, dude, no, we can't go to that dinner tonight. 7 o'clock, we've got the Campbell's Soup appearance at blah, blah, blah. You're going to be, and make sure the driver's there, make sure they get there. Like, that's not, most athletes at his level or entertainers of any sort would have that already lined up for him.
He made $2.5 million last year in endorsements.
Really. I would have thought he did even better than that. But who knows what he had to do for him? If it was just a couple appearances, So, May 2018, she claims he raped her after a night out in Miami. Another football player was present. She does not give his name. They left the club together, and she drove the men back to Brown's house. She planned to then drive straight to her hotel, but went into his home to use the restroom and grab some food in the kitchen. He then grabbed her arm and pulled her towards the bedroom, claiming he wanted to talk to her, and chatted for a few minutes. And when Miss Taylor went to walk out of the room, Brown cornered her, pulled her down on the bed on her stomach, pushing her face down in the mattress, a little mashing her face thing. She attempted to physically resist, but he pinned her down so that she was unable to fight back. She tried to get away. He allegedly told her, "You know you want this." Yeah.
Famous last words.
And that's a line a lot of guys spit out there. You know
It
what I
is,
mean?
it is a best of, for sure.
Yeah, I mean it's a top track for sure.
Yeah.
Bitch, you know you want this.
You know you want this.
No, the problem is you don't know that she wants it. You can't figure out that she don't want this. No, not necessarily do she want this. Miss Taylor pleaded, "No, stop," but Brown refused, proceeded with great violence to penetrate her. She protested and cried the entire time. Afterwards, she ran out into the foyer and collapsed. The next day, she claims she went back to his house. I wouldn't have done that. To retrieve personal items and confront him. He allegedly told her, "Man, you made me feel like a real rapist last night."
Oh, God.
Well, with all that crying and no and shit.
Oh my God.
Afterwards, she feared she
This
could
guy.
have become pregnant or contracted an STD. The pair stopped working together, and she fell into a deep depression. Brown's attorney is saying, no, that's all bullshit. Don't
All
fight this
consensual.
vigorously. He believes it's a money grab, blah, blah, blah. So she's been left so traumatized as a result of the 3 alleged attacks. She suffered near daily panic attacks. So this is where we're trying to get down to the nitty gritty, how we come up with a
Emotional
financial.
distress.
The sleepless nights. Here's where
There
the
you
sleepless
go.
nights come in.
Near daily panic attacks, frequent suicidal ideations, and insomnia. So they worded it different. They threw in this is some new stuff that we don't usually hear. She also has lost a remarkable amount of weight, 30 pounds in 1 month due to stress. That's not bad. That's a good thing, right? The Patriots said we take these allegations very seriously. But he's going to play. Since it's not a criminal case at this point, he'll still play. So, O.J. Simpson, did you see him on...
Hello, Twitter world.
Hello, Twitter. It's yours truly. I believe that's his catchphrase. That's his opening. It's yours truly. You want to see OJ kind of defend him a little bit? My advice to the Juice would be, you know what? Anytime there's a controversial case involving assault, even murder,
Especially murder.
take that day of Twitter off. It's just not.
He's going to defend Antonio Brown here.
Well, he's talking about, it's about my fantasy football team. I had a good week. I won.
Oh, God.
The Antonio Brown thing helped me
Funny
out.
thing is, someone's filming these, so he has somebody that.
Oh, yeah. He's got lots of people around him.
All right.
Hey, Twitter world, yours truly. Well, the first week of fantasy football is in the can. It was quite an exciting week.
I used to
did
live in
well.
a can.
I won my match. I tell you this, I was a little worried at the beginning of that Kansas City game. I was a little pissed at myself for not taking Mahomes, but as the day went on, Saquon Barkley
Surreal.
did me right, and against a tough Dallas defense. That whole Antonio Brown saga sort of worked in
mean the
my
rape thing?
favor.
Oh,
Because
that's
last week when he was a Raider, I thought he might be suspended. I picked up Tyrell Williams, the other receiver.
anything
there,
worse than
and
hearing
he
about
had a
someone
great
else's
game for
fantasy
me.
team?
Now I
No.
have both him, still have Michael Thomas.
That's
And this
great,
week,
Juice.
not long
I
ago,
don't. I don't
2
have
hours
that
ago,
player,
I'm wondering,
so-
should I play
Here
Antonio
it is.
Brown as my flex next week? I'm a little concerned if he'll be on a pitch count. I don't think the Patriots will totally bench Dorsett. He'll still get some time because of the great game he had. But then I saw where somebody accused Antonio of rape. Now, let's make one thing clear. He was accused, not charged.
Yeah.
But I don't know how that's going to affect him this week. I'm hoping it's not true. Nothing I know about Antonio would make me think he would do something
about those emails?
like that. But, as Antonio Brown turns, is where we're living now. I hope it's not true. I'm just saying.
Oh my God, this guy. Read the
It's
room.
just surreal.
Yeah, he can't get out of his own way.
Everything I know about this guy says I can't see it being true.
I hope it's not true. I mean,
Clearly, he
You know
hopes
what's
it's
funny,
not
Juice?
for his fantasy
Yeah.
football. It has nothing to do with the rape. He doesn't care about the rape.
And you realize, Juice, 99% of the world, outside of your immediate circle back in 1993 and 94, 99.9% of the world would have said, everything I know about the Juice, there's no way he's going to commit double murder this year. There's no way. I jacked my dick on your back, slept with you in bed. Fuck your knowledge, bitch. I've been all pro before I even knew you.
What is being all pro before he knew her?
That's just not true. He was not all pro before he knew her.
That's a good
They met
point,
at
too.
Central Michigan.
Right, that's
I mean,
also-
Can he be all pro at Central? No. Did you see are you guys getting excited for the big concert? 2020?
I am actually.
Hella Mega. The Hella Mega Stadium Tour. Green Day, Weezer, Fall Out Boy.
I didn't know that's what they're calling it.
Yeah. Joining forces. Can they do a stadium tour?
Yeah, for sure.
You
Green
think
Day.
that through.
Yes. Dude, Green Day's played to large stadiums before, or large venues.
Yes, they've done one-off shows. I know. But Green Day now. Not Green Day 2010.
I can't speak to Fall Out Boy.
Fall Out Boy's
that-
played at.
To me, that's the big unknown. Like in my mind,
Yes,
what
they
they
definitely
could draw.
can. They definitely can.
Yeah, with that combination, they
Yes,
can. Okay.
I believe
then
so.
I'll defer to Yeezus on this one.
I don't know,
So my
dude.
feel is that would be close, but if you're saying Fall Out Boy is big enough to kind of help anchor
So
that,
you,
This
so
will
you
sell
would
out.
say LCA, right? I was thinking Little Caesars
yeah.
Arena. No, they're doing Comerica
Comerica.
Park.
Yeah, I think it's awesome.
Yeah, I want to go.
I
Definitely,
want to go to that one, and I wouldn't mind going to the one in Wrigley too, to be honest with you. But Fall Out Boy was at when I went to Billy Joel. That time was it last year, I guess. I forget exactly when that was, but when I went to Billy Joel at Wrigley Field, Fall Out Boy with somebody else was at Wrigley Field the next day.
really.
Yeah, I don't remember with who, but I remember thinking, oh damn, that would have been
someone
cool.
big enough to sell out.
Fall Out Boy's big, man.
Fall Out Boy, really? Is
Yes.
Fall Out Boy that? I know Fall Out Boy's big. I've seen him before. I like Fall Out Boy, but I don't think of Fall Out Boy as like a main draw right now.
Well,
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
well-
know present day like what Fall Out Boy is. You know, that's where I'm
Wow.
flummoxed.
Yep.
So I'll defer to Yeezus.
No,
He has a better
I will
sense of it.
defer to Easus as well too, but I don't feel like I'm that far out of the loop. Like, what could Fall Out Boy do on their own if it's coming through town? Where would they play?
Sell out Little Caesars for sure.
You think Fall Out Boy could sell out
Fuck
Little
yes.
Caesars?
Fuck yes.
Wow, that shocks me. I'm shocked to hear that. Shocked.
They've had a resurgence for sure. And so is Green Day. Obviously, Green Day is massive.
Green
but-
Day's huge, yeah. Did you see they each dropped a new song? Did you have Green Day's one?
Sure.
What the fuck is this, by
I
the way?
haven't heard this.
Yeah, you're not. I wish I wouldn't have told you who it was because I'd be interested to see if you could figure out that this was Green Day. So it's called "Father of All." They dropped that. Weezer's new song is called "The End of the Game." I have not heard it. It's going to be on their upcoming album, Van Weezer, next May.
I don't
It's
know-
like the
I don't know
Blue
any-
album, but with more riffs, metal hard rock riffs, but it's still pretty catchy pop rock. I'm interested in that. That sounds great. Fall Out Boy wrote their new song, Dear Future, Hands Up, featuring Wyclef Jean, for their upcoming compilation album, Greatest Hits. So you're saying that
That's pretty
usually
normal.
when bands put out Greatest Hits albums, they're on the downslope. That's not a sign of a super hot band that would sell out LCA.
We're going
my-
to play
just my
this.
opinion, I
Say
guess.
bye to YouTube. Bye-bye, YouTube viewers.
Okay.
Sounds like him so far. Now it doesn't.
Sounds like Green Day. Sounds like White Stripes. I mean, Jack White sounds like he would do this.
Yeah, that's different.
Do you like it, E?
I have to give it more.
There we go.
Sort
Green
of.
Day now.
Sort of.
I think that's. I think the music from beginning till now, it sounded like Green Day to me. It was just the high voice, the
Yeah,
staccato.
wow.
Maybe I don't know who Green Day is. That sounds nothing like Green Day to me. I mean, I can hear Billy in there. I can when it finally kicks into off the falsetto part and gets into him singing there. But he's got some mic compression thing going
Yeah.
on where he's, in a can. I just don't
Have you
think that
listened
sounds.
have you listened to newer Green Day, like off the radio? What was it? Radio.
Yeah, I mean, I have all their stuff. I have the Uno Dos Tre or whatever. I
Yeah.
have those ones.
Radio Revolution or something. Or-
I don't know how much Radio Revolution I listened to. Why was that a?
I'm just saying. I think I don't know. I think Jay's right. Like the music.
The music to me sounded like them the whole time, but yeah, the
voices,
distorted mic
obviously,
was
yeah.
strange.
See, that drum beat sounded weird to me. I think of Trey Cool as like, he's such a great player. It's having that like electronic drum sound.
Revolution Radio. I was sorry.
Yeah, I don't know. So Green Day, Weezer, Fall Out Boy, Hella Mega Tour. I think they said so. That's going to be in Detroit, August 19th at Comerica Park. And let's see, what did they say? I think. What do you think the order of bands would be for that?
Weezer,
Weezer,
Fall Out Boy, Green Day.
Yep. And then there's
I'm glad I wasn't wrong on that.
See, honestly, I would have said Fall Out Boy, Weezer, Green Day. That would have been my thought. I know Weezer's in a huge resurgence right now. They dropped that album
Yeah, but
with
they're more DTE, you know.
yeah. But they got huge popularity, huge boost from their Africa cover.
Yeah.
So they've gotten more.
Did a lot of '80s covers in the last couple of years.
Yeah, they've got a new album out with just those covers on. If you go to Spotify or whatever, that's great. They also did Rosanna by Toto, which is awesome. I thought that was really good. So, yeah. Once they were talking about this, we talked about, or Billy Joe Armstrong said, Hella Mega Tour was a Green Day idea. We talked about how we weren't really wanting to do stadiums. and do something that was like a throwback to the Monsters of Rock tour. Remember that?
Yeah.
Series of metal tours in the 80s and 90s.
Silverdome, right?
Van Halen, Metallica, yep. Faith No More, Dio, Aerosmith. Pete Wentz made a slightly different historical comparison. I remember in the 90s, there was one summer, Guns N' Roses and Metallica went on a stadium tour, and my parents wouldn't let me go. And I feel,
I kind of remember that one too.
yeah, Mike Webster got to go to that one.
Yeah.
My parents didn't let me go to it, and I feel trapped in that forever. We wanted to recreate that memory. So that's cool. I'll
It's
go.
actually interesting. Fall Out Boy, like, they broke up for a little bit, and when they came back, they basically just full on admitted they came back to make money. But it seems like now they must have, regained their friendship or whatever. But when they first came back, I have to look at the dates that because they were gone for a few years.
What's their biggest hit?
Oh my god. Well,
What do you think is their, like, is it Hey Sugar or whatever? What's that?
Sugar, we're going. Yeah.
We're going down, down.
I mean, I'd have to look at their new stuff.
That's a
'cause their
great
new
album,
stuff-
by the way, but I don't know their new stuff, I
incredible.
don't think. Is their new stuff good?
I always could never decide on whether Fall Out Boy wrote good songs or just was very good at writing catchy songs. Because they can write,
a good
write
distinction,
very
E.
catchy songs. But I don't know if they're amazing. But I love them.
Writing a pop hook is fucking hard. Otherwise, other people would do it.
Right.
They're very good at writing a catchy.
Broke my wrist at a Fall Out Boy concert one time.
Did you? That's the story.
Yeah.
See, there you go.
This one right here. You can still see, like, there's a pin in this wrist still.
You fell at a Fall Out Boy concert.
I know. I know.
What did they not catch you? The crowd not catch you?
I was on the main floor. And I was not drunk. I was with my sister and another friend, and it wasn't even like a mosh pit, quote unquote, or anything. It was just someone just kind of bumped me, and I just didn't see it. Like, I just didn't see it. And you're not, they say, like, when you skateboard and stuff, you're not supposed to put your hands down to catch yourself because, and that's what I did. Just put my hands down, snap.
That tuck and roll, E.
It was interesting, though. Like, I didn't feel the pain during the concert at all. It was like literally when the concert was going, I was just like, fuck yeah, this is awesome. Lights went on, or like ended, house lights went on, and all of a sudden I was just like, oh fuck, this hurts, dude. Fuck, this hurts, dude.
Yeah.
It was on 420.
Was it? Where was the show at?
Palace of Auburn Hills.
At the Palace?
Yeah.
Who else was on that bill?
All American Rejects,
All right.
Fall Out Boy. I don't remember if there was anyone else, but I really liked all
Well,
of them.
Easus, if you wanna
Boys Like
go-
Girls might have been on there.
If you want to go to that show, we can get tickets for that.
I'm definitely gonna go. So
Yeah,
for
I want to.
sure.
I want to go see that too. I haven't seen Green Day in forever.
Green Day, dude. I saw them
I don't know that I've
years
ever
ago.
seen. Maybe I saw Weezer. I don't remember.
I saw Green Day. I've seen them twice, and I saw them like 2 years ago, I think, at the Joe, and they were fucking good. Like when you watch live videos,
Green
on
Day or
YouTube-
Weezer?
Green Day.
Green Day,
When
yeah.
you watch live videos of Green Day, like on tours now, like they seem to have gotten better. Like legit. Like that concert was so fucking good 2 years ago at the Joe. Me and my sister, like, we loved it.
Yeah, they're amazing. They always have been.
But they seem to have gotten better. I swear to God. Like in live
well, they're-
anyway.
It's hard to have like a 3-person band, and I know they've got other members on stage that play with them. I know they've officially got the 4th member, I think now.
Yeah,
but,
they finally do. Yeah.
but they are so tight when they play. I mean, just you're never going to not see a good Green Day show. Just so high energy, so much speed, and Billy Joe's amazing.
Yeah.
They're all amazing. So yeah, I'd love to go to that show
For sure.
And Weezer, I don't think I've seen Weezer.
I'm definitely not. I don't really know much about Weezer. All I know about Weezer is the, what is it? Beverly Hills song. I think it's the only
Dude,
Weezer
they're
song
great.
I really know.
They're
I've heard
great.
people say that.
Yeah. Before we wrap things up with a little bit of email, did you see the chick with go over the waterfall in Hawaii?
Yeah, the GoPro
The
caught it all.
GoPro. Man, GoPros
Wet
don't
rocks,
miss.
man.
Yeah, what is she thinking? You know what I mean? Like you're looking over the edge of a 50-foot waterfall drop.
I'm not comfortable with a move like that, but some people are. Some people go right up to the edge of shit, but
I can go up to the edge of shit at like the Grand Canyon, sort of, where it probably hasn't rained in 30 years and it's bone dry. But there's just moisture in Hawaii, and you can see there's just patches of
Right.
water. And she's just like, "Oh my God, beautiful," or whatever, and steps. Do you have the video there, E?
Shit. Oh, sorry. Here, let me pull it up there. Sorry.
Her name's Heather Friesen. This happened a couple of years ago, and we're knowing about it now. They've just released this video. This is at Ka'au Crater Trail. She had a GoPro strapped to her head. The footage shows her initially looking at the drop, like whoa, and then there she goes. She talked recently and spoke out about how her fall. This was the fall that changed her life forever on the podcast. In the World of Female Sports is the name of the podcast. Saying the time slowed down as she fell. Friends were freaking out, thinking she was going to die. Of course, God was there for her. She found out I found out there were others that have been before me who fell at the same spot and died, and I know that God saved my life that day. So, okay, let's see it.
Whoa.
Right there. Boom. Done.
Oh my god.
Oh, God.
What an advertisement for GoPro.
It really is.
She had broken scapula and all sorts of shit.
What's the
right?
scapula?
Part of your shoulder blade.
There you go, sweetie. We're okay.
Holy shit.
Wheezing. Oh, she had a punctured lung, too, right?
Yeah.
That's what you sound like with a punctured lung, everybody.
Collapsed.
I
I need somebody down here to help me out.
I want to see this part.
Fuck, it's too inappropriate
That's
to
crazy.
say, but
What?
maybe what she would sound like in bed, too. It's the moving part.
Whoa, there she goes again.
That's crazy to me. Oh my god.
Doesn't it look like she's fine? Like, the way it goes, you don't see her, like, tumbling around. It's like she fell, hit the water.
Yeah, you don't see her body actually hitting rock and
Right.
stuff, right?
In bed.
It's like that Adam Sandler thing, lifting weights or having sex.
Oh, is that what? That's
you know?
funny.
Hell yeah.
10 broken ribs. I didn't even know you had 10. Is that all of them? Did she break them all?
No, I don't.
How many ribs do we
How many
have?
ribs do we have?
And where's the spatula? Did you say? You said
Scapula.
Oh, the scapula. I know it as the scapula. So I was a little confused. But she broke that to her. She fractured the scapula. Collapsed lung and 10 broken ribs.
Human rib cage is made up of 12 paired rib bones. So 24 ribs.
So she broke 10 of them. I bet the only one she didn't break is that top 2. Do you think she went blink right down the...
Boy, I don't know. Boy, what a fall.
Yeah,
Ugh.
that's a hell of a fall. And lastly, did you see Artie Lang?
Yeah, is that a prosthetic nose he's wearing? Is he wearing a nose now?
No, I mean, you've seen pictures of his nose.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that side shot when he's arrested, when he's holding the numbers or whatever, and then they do the side one.
Yeah, but the straight-on shot from today of him being
Yeah.
released, I think that's a prosthetic, right?
Did he just pop it out a little bit, pull it out?
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't mastered it yet. You got a picture there, E?
Because there's the one you're talking about.
Man.
Yeah, I don't think that's a prosthetic, Jay. I think that's losing a little bit of weight.
Wow, he doesn't even look like himself in that one.
No,
on the
he
right.
looks great.
If you told me that guy on the right was Artie Lang, I wouldn't even.
Do you have
disagree.
Can you find
Doesn't there look like there's some substance there to the front of the nose? Like,
I mean, his skin looks
'cause
different color. from
you,
one-
you look at a profile and you're right, it's just flat. And I don't know. It looks better to me.
Yeah, but don't you think if you lost all the weight he did, that maybe you would get some slimming there, even in the nose?
Yeah.
Can you lose weight in your nose?
Yes, I don't know.
Look at that one bottom, right?
Dude. Oh, Arthur.
Great to be home.
7 months, 14 days sober, but one day at a time.
Lots of new stories to tell. And then we'll announce some new tour dates on Friday. Thanks for the support. Love you all.
He does look good, man.
I mean, honestly, doesn't he look great?
Yeah.
I mean, when you're talking about Artie Lang, I know that you're like, what? But he looks
If he
so
could have
much
somehow
better.
kept his nose through that whole thing,
Yeah.
he'd look like $1 million.
He would. He'd look like your Uncle Larry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody's Uncle Larry. See him at the holidays. You go, wow, Larry, you look great.
Look great, man. Yeah, doing some golfing,
Yeah. I started walking around the block a little bit, a couple times a day. So, yeah, that's good to see, though. I honestly, I didn't see this as a possibility. As far as a
Yeah.
good
you see
outcome.
those 2000 January and May pictures. I mean,
Yeah.
how could you?
And before that, the other ones, his other photos from arrests, and just knowing what he was doing, like lots of people have problems with shit. No one's immune to that, but his was so bad and so drastic, and it just seemed like it wasn't never going to stop. It's like, and he's getting fucked up like this all the time. It was like this is just going to end one day,
Right.
sooner than later. When getting a call like, no more Artie, but. Hopefully this is a clear turning point. 7 months, that's great. That's great. Good head start.
Looks good. Hey, get a 2-pack of My Pillows premiums for $69.98. That's only $34.99 per pillow, which is the lowest price ever offered on podcast, radio, or TV. This offer is only available at MyPillow.com. Use promo code TDC.
All right, what do we got for email? Anything, Jay?
I got a couple things here. Let's see. James writes in. All right. Per my instructions, I'm writing in to admonish all American-hating, gay-loving communists that watch Commie Ball. Mike is oh so right. Soccer is gay as shit. Oof, it's gay as shit.
Yeah.
I defer all my remaining time to Mike as he is the only American hosting the show.
Gay as shit.
James.
I have an update, by the way. Remember we were doing that story the other day about my Tottenham, was it the Spurs?
The Hotspur.
The Hotspur, the cock and ball. I really like the logo. And we were talking about how they meet, in these spots down in Corktown. And
Yep. Everybody wears
kinda
scarves.
drinks beers, sings songs, all that kind of shit. I got a message from one Kyle. Says, hey, caught the most recent podcast. Detroit Spurs, the Detroit Tottenham group meets at Mercury Burger Bar in Corktown. We have a Facebook group if any of you guys are interested in coming out and watching the cock and ball.
There you go.
I said,
You've been invited.
I said, I just might, Kyle. I didn't want to intrude. Jay picked Tottenham as my team. I'm quickly falling for him. I need a cock and ball.
Quickly falling for them.
I need a cock and ball sweatshirt post haste. He said, no worries at all. We have grown a lot over the past year and have a lot of new faces around. There's a game this weekend, but parking will be a little congested because of the Tour de Trois bike races around the bar.
Ah.
Yeah. So thank you, Kyle. I don't know that I'll make it out.
Place
I'm
of
really,
rage
I'm
raises.
But I
really
might
going
surprise
to,
you.
I'm really considering going to Royal Oak this Saturday morning.
Chelsea game?
But yeah, 10 a.m. I'm really considering. I'm not saying 100%, but I'm definitely thinking
Good,
about it.
good. Hey, Mad Mike writes in, Easus. Easus the sex freak is the subject line. Lots of judging of other people's sex life lately by Big E, the guy who refuses to go down on a girl if the opportunity ever arose because vaginas are gross.
I am not judging anybody sexually. It's just something that I think of when I think of like these buttoned up men. I just sort of think,
Yeah.
imagine what that guy would look like
Yeah.
leaning back in the blowjob.
I'd rag on you, E, but I kind of tend to do more of that than I should too. Just looking at someone going, yeah, you're
Like
just
I wouldn't
as
say it about
creepy.
Howard Stern because Howard Stern talks openly like for about stuff like that. But like if I Ted
Fred
Koppel,
McLeod, my God.
Yeah.
but like Ted Koppel,
Don't give him
like,
24 hours. No, jump right into the worst depraved shit you can imagine.
I actually didn't. If you really, I think paid attention, I didn't say he did depraved shit. I just said that guy gets blowjobs. Like he would get, Mr. Uptight would get a blowjob.
I think the first time we realized that E had this vision of people, I believe was Wolf Blitzer.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
Probably.
We're watching Wolf Blitzer and blah, 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 blah,
yeah.
blah.
In bed.
Oh, howling like the
Chicks
wolf.
howl.
Yeah.
You like getting blitzed by the wolf?
there's no way he doesn't say that. I bet. Honestly, I bet he says you're getting blitzed.
You're getting blitzed by the wolf. Ow! 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 It was like, that dude gets blowjobs. And it was like, yeah, he probably does. Buttoned up, stuffy
beard
fucking
and all.
Wolf Blitzer probably gets blowjobs.
We'll save the rest for tomorrow.
All right. Well, like I said, I'm almost positive. Mac posted about it earlier in the week. Chris Osgood, I believe, is coming by the house today to sit in with Grind Time with Darren McCarty. And so check that out tonight. I believe they'll be around, 7, 8 o'clock, something like that. So that ought to be good. J. Chris Newberg, too. We haven't mentioned him in a while. Chris is dropping a lot of really great shows. So check that out whatever you listen to podcasts on. And, of course, remain listening to us. Of course. Goes without saying.
My God.
Have a great rest of the day. One more day left in the week, guys. We'll do it tomorrow. We'll see you guys then.
You've been listening to the Detroit Cast with your hosts, Mike and Jay. From all of us at Radio for One Studios, thank you for listening. And as always, thank you, Detroit.